So guess what? Nancy Pelosi's daughter, remember she did a documentary. She's always on Bill Maher talking about how horrible January 6th is. Well, she's lying when she says that.
Okay, I was going to ask you, does she actually, because I wasn't sure what she said in public about it.
Well, you know what? I don't watch Bill Maher, but I heard she goes on and says all that horrible stuff. So here, listen to what remember the shaman?
Oh, I remember.
The guy going through January 6th.
I'm voting for him for president.
The guy with the buffalo helmet and
he's my writer.
I would vote for him. Anyway, guy's super peaceful. His life was dedicated to peace. They put him in solitary confinement. They gave him like a 50-year sentence, some crazy sentence.
Yeah.
And listen to what Nancy Pelosi's daughter has to say about it. Watch this.
I mean, what did the shaman do? He stood there. What did Paul do? He stood there. The shaman got how many months?
Right,
41 compared to 8.
He got 31 months in prison, according to her. And she's sitting there. This is Nancy Pelosi's daughter. She's flummoxed that the shaman, who, her own words, did nothing.
How many years is that?
Did
2?
30. So a little over 2.5, right? Did nothing.
Maybe the cops should have mentioned what you're doing is illegal and you should leave, sir, before they let him into the
room.
Right.
Cops took him, gave him a tour of the Capitol.
Read a poem or something? He didn't, or prayed or something?
And they prayed for the cops, prayed for everybody. This is Nancy Pelosi's daughter admitting January 6th was a scam set up by the establishment, and they're over-prosecuting the people to set an example and to try to make a political movement illegal.
You know,
she's admitting that what they're doing is what they claim Trump will do. So this is the oldest trick in the book. You accuse your opponent of exactly what you're doing. You know who started that? The first time I heard it, Goebbels.
Goebbels, yeah.
Goebbels was the one who said...
Goebbels, I like to call him.
What do you call him?
Goebbels, but I think Goebbels is good too.
I call him Goebbels.
Yeah. Gerbils, I call him.
Ah.
Classic Gerbils.
Classic gerbils.
You know, Bill Maher put more work in doing a deep dive into the facts on to exonerate Andrew Cuomo.
Yes.
Which, by the way, not that convincing.
No, not convincing at all.
But this, he won't
look into this. He won't look into this. He won't look into Pfizer. He won't look into the vax. He won't look into lockdowns. He won't look into anything.
I'll bet he did look into the vax.
I bet he did.
Because he's
But he knows he can't say it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a take one for the team guy.
Just like Cornel West when he came on and couldn't admit that Joe Biden's actually more racist than Donald Trump and responsible for black and brown people being locked up at way higher rates. And Donald Trump's actually responsible for getting them out of prison. He couldn't do that. Just like...
I'm kidding.
Yeah. You know he knows.
When I saw that, and I think that the government is going to go for more, that they're going to look to get bigger. Like, people are criticizing some of the people that got home convict. A lot of people have been getting probation and stuff. So I think they're looking to make people, like, I think if Paul went now, he'd get a longer sentence.
What did he do? What did he do?
He just walked in with the Trump flag into the Senate.
That's it.
That's it. DC is a lot of people that work for the government.
Right.
And it's a lot of, I don't think that's sympathetic.
The jury. That's
the jury is going to be.
We don't think the trial should be held there.
Well, if you got it moved, you'd totally get off.
What did she say?
If you got it moved, you'd totally get off.
So if they moved the trial of January 6th protesters out of D.C., they would totally get off.
Oh, you don't say.
That's what she just said.
Yeah, chuckle.
And they laughed. So, but if we rig the jury system against other Americans for political purposes, we could get them thrown in jail.
Well, maybe she, in this private meeting, is saying that's wrong. I haven't seen what she said on Bill Maher, honestly.
Okay.
So I'm curious to know how she talked about it. If she really talked about it like, oh, yeah, they stole our democracy shit, then really fuck her. But maybe she went on and said something like this. I don't know. I didn't see it. It's weird that...
If there was an insurrection, you were supposed to be in line... marching. You're in the military, you know this.
No, that's
you were supposed to have a plan.
Exactly. It's called the operations order. You sit down overnight with your soldiers. You go over. All right, you're gonna go here. You're gonna go in by this side. At this time, we're gonna take over this. There's none of that.
If it was an insurrection, it's the sorriest insurrection in the 20th, 21st century ever. Nope.
So if it was an insurrection, it was the sorriest insurrection in history ever.
I'm gonna have to look up what insurrection is because I honestly. I'm not.
An
quite
insurrection
sure.
is, I think, a rising up of people trying to overthrow a government. Am I wrong about that? It
Yeah.
it implies an armed uprising that quickly fails or succeeds.
Well, we already
For
failed.
instance, a revolt by the Young Turks that surprised party leaders. So, they weren't armed.
Yeah, right. So we've already failed.
That's another thing. That's another thing Cornel West tried to pretend, that those guys, they were trying to overthrow the government on January 6th.
Well, the dictionary online says a violent uprising against an authority or government. So maybe they're.
It wasn't a violent uprising.
No, I know. Oh, but
There was violence that day on January 6th, for
but
sure.
just not in the Capitol building.
But it's not inside the Capitol building. It was kind of outside the Capitol building, and most of it was instigated by FBI plants in the crowd.
Yeah, I don't believe any of it wasn't from FBI plants because, again, these are people that love cops.
That's right.
They love cops. This is
protesters-
during defund the police. All cops are bastards. Here's one group I know that wasn't saying that. Trump voters.
That's right.
Yeah.
The worst insurrection in history. This is Nancy Pelosi's daughter. Don't you feel like a chump now?
Well, she's saying what I was saying.
Okay, so I want you to know that I'm from New York City, and was always a long time ago friends with Gavin McInnes, who's
Hey,
supposedly
me too.
She's friends with Gavin McInnes.
Yeah, I am too. I know him for years.
There she is admitting she's friends with Gavin McInnes. I thought that's
yeah.
supposed to get you canceled. Well, that's why she only admits it in private, I guess.
Oh, somebody tweeted at me one time. It says, like, now that I do the show, I get like, people don't like you come at me. Like I give a rat's ass how they feel. So like, is it true that you were associated with Gavin McInnes? I'm like, I texted him because I hadn't thought to text him in a while because they said that. I go, yeah, anybody else you don't approve? Like I give a shit. I mean, I couldn't believe someone had the balls to try to like I would, if you have any problem with anybody I've ever associated with, really S my D. Do I have to say it like that? I mean it. Anyway, Nancy Pelosi's kid feels the same way I do.
Nancy Pelosi's kid feels just like Kurt. They like to hang out with Gavin McInnes.
Was always a long time ago friends with Gavin McInnes, who's supposedly the guy that started the Bad Boys.
Correct. Yes.
And when you say it was a drinking club, I'm just telling you guys, I don't know what the Proud Boys is, but I know Gavin McInnes. I went on road trips with him to parties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a joke. Probably was a joke founded by Gavin, okay, that somehow became a CIA, FBI psyop. It's really something. Like after he disowned it, it suddenly became a Fed thing. But it started as a joke. The reason it's called Proud Boys, and I remember when they were doing it, I was like, I really don't get it.
There she is admitting she went on the road trips and did parties with Gavin McInnes. So, but if I said that, Jimmy Dore's a right winger. He's a black. But there's Nancy Pelosi's kid.
Yeah. Well, by the way, if you're concerned with what wing, like, oh, are you like that label of like you're not a real Yankees fan, like you're really missing the point of shit. Oh, are you really left? I'm not in any of the directions. I don't give a shit about any of that. Just pick some principles and try to stick with them for 5 seconds.
Here's my principles: anti-war, pro-Medicare for everybody, anti-censorship, pro-free speech, and pro-choice, meaning bodily autonomy. And that comes to mandates, and that comes to vaccines. That covers everything, not just abortion. That's called a real principle. And and now they tell you
that's
because
right wing.
That's right wing.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be like, even though you're not a part of it, you're supposed to be part of the campaign workers for the Democrat running for office.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to tell the truth if it could hurt the campaign.
That's right.
It's like how you self-checkout at the grocery store. They put the work on you.
Like I wasn't. People got mad at me for telling people I got vaccine injured. He's the guy. What do you do? Why are you doing that?
Because I don't give a shit how you feel.
Right.
And I'm telling you the truth.
Because I like to tell the truth about things.
You're a grifter. I like that.
Yeah.
You're a grifter. Just telling the truth willy-nilly.
Let's watch the rest of this. So here she is going on road trips with Gavin McInnes.
It was so comical to me when I first started hearing about like Proud Boys are supreme. This was like years ago. They started saying in Brooklyn, where he's from. I was like, what? This guy, I mean, he may talk shit, but a lot of it is like he's a provocateur. He says it to like be funny or whatever. But
so she saw Judd Apatow's George Carlin documentary as well. Remember at the end when they go, George is gone. He would have been so upset if he saw Gavin. Mm-hmm. You know what Gavin was doing? They were at Berkeley reading a speech from, I think it was Ann Coulter got banned from doing her speech. Yeah. Those stupid college speeches. And he read it. He violently read the speech outside. That's what they depicted as like, oh my God, things are falling apart.
Oh, you could turn off the AC.
Why would you even bother? I thought it was stupid of him to go and bother to do that at Berkeley, but to act like it's really, Judge, you can't believe that's violence to you.
They're all shit. I mean, they're just Judd Apatow makes some fun movies, but
made some great movies.
But they're not deep thinkers.
They fall apart in the last act, but you know what? I don't hold it against them. I like a lot of them.
I like a lot of them.
The idea that he's now being elevated to being this, it totally makes me laugh because I'm like, I know this guy. I've been to many parties with him, and I know he just says some crazy shit.
You make him like the spiritual guru.
And he's supposed to be like the godfather of this, and I know that. So when they say Proud Boy, I'm always like, what is a Proud Boy? So that's why it's funny to me. That
name the terrorism that Proud Boys have done. I'm still not clear on it. Besides getting their asses kicked.
She says it makes her laugh.
Yeah.
It makes her laugh when they say he's some spiritual guru of racists. It makes her laugh. Makes Nancy Pelosi. Doesn't it make you feel like a chump? All those fucking assholes in all those comedy clubs that I go into. All those Hollywood motherfuckers who believe what they see on television. They believe what they were told about January 6th without looking into it.
I think they just decide they're not looking into it.
I've had my comedian friends said, Jimmy, I'm sorry. I'll go along with a lot of the shit you say.
Don't go along with anything. Make your own mind up, you punk.
But then he says, but I'm sorry, that January 6th, that undermined our democracy. They buy it.
I'm leaving. I'm done.
They buy it.
Dude, Jimmy, first of all, I have to say many times, I have never wanted to go along with anything you were saying. I had to because it was right. I would go like, this can't be right. This thing that Jimmy said cannot be right. The creepiest thing to me, dude, in the last 2 years is watching other people say things from 2 years ago that maybe sounded kind of far out there at the time that you said. And I know you weren't out reporting overseas. You just bothered to look up a thing that you'd think a real reporter might mention.
Might mention.
No, they don't.
They believe everything they're told about Ukraine. They believed everything they were told about COVID. They believe everything they were told about Fauci. They believe everything they were told about the virus and the vax. They believe everything they were told about the January 6th. They believe everything. They believe everything they're told. And I say to these people, is there anything you hear on MSNBC, Fox, or CNN that you don't believe? Is there anything you read in the New York Times and the Washington Post that you don't believe?
It's like a boy.
And they never say anything back.
Rachel Maddow said it. I believe it. That settles it. That's like the Bible thing.
I had a grown-up person in his 50s say, yes, I trust Rachel Maddow. Wow. Yes, they do. And that's why they say the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Because you got shitheads.
Why Rachel Maddow's out there doing it every day. A bunch of these people, she ain't the only one like this. I've seen all kinds of.
They all know better.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. The only guy who doesn't know is Joe Biden. And that's because he's demented.
Yeah, it's all like.
But they all know better.
You have to watch what you say because the normies are stupid.
You saw Sam Harris and Bill Maher actually believe it. They actually believe Russiagate.
I think Sam Harris is working for somebody. I don't believe he believes
there's
it.
No doubt he's working for somebody.
I don't think he believes. I think he's doing leaps of.
Oh, there's no doubt.
If you quote David Frum publicly without being embarrassed, and no one, Bill Maher, I would. If I wasn't Bill Maher, I'm like, are you kidding me, David Frum? You're really going to say that with authority?
Okay. Just to wrap up, everything you've been told. Since Donald Trump won the presidency has been a lie.
A lot of stuff before
Russiagate, a lot of stuff. Russiagate was a lie. Barack Obama was a lie. Hillary Clinton was a lie. COVID, all the stuff they told you about COVID were lies. All the stuff they told you about Ukraine were lies. All the stuff they told you about Syria was a lie. All the stuff they told you about Libya was a lie.
9/11.
Now we're finding out that a lot of the stuff they told you about 9/11, complete lies.
A lot of the information was out too, but I just didn't look at it.
That's right. You weren't allowed to look at it.
No, you could. I just didn't want to.
The stuff they told you about Seth Rich was a lie. All that stuff they told you was a lie.
but it's your duty to still believe it because
Right.
you have to save democracy.
But yeah, you have to save democracy so those people can keep lying to you.
Because these people might get punished.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff they told you was a lie, and you believed it, just like Cornel West.
What is
believed it.
Trump even going to do if he gets into any of them? Tell him you're fired? The end?
Right.
They're going to be fired.
Hey, come see us doing a live stand-up show. We'll be in Burbank, California, Oxnard, California, Venice, California, Palmdale, California. Then we're going to Omaha, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Lansing, Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, and Boston, Massachusetts. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.